Hello everyone and welcome to today's conversation. We were working on some things and we worked on a lot last night, and we want to bring awareness to the horrific women of our time, which would be all the women of abuse on The View, who use, it's like a pressure push of submission of all humans while women cheer it on like gladiators. They find joy in abusing people, including little children, and then cover it up with a smile, a laugh, and a I know everything. I mean, you cannot tell them anything, even though what they're doing and saying is clearly causing the downfall of the world. They'll just come back with another sentence of how they're right because they are mentally ill. It's called mental illness. But it's more than what I can explain in words. It's like taking not a lawnmower, taking a bulldozer, lining up bodies like during the Holocaust, and this is The View, and then taking the bodies, and some of them are still alive, and then smashing them on top of each other, pushing them forward, and then smashing them again, and then pushing them forward and smashing, and then the pressure is like your brain is being squeezed. And then there's a lot of nanny boo-boo shit going on, like ha ha ha, I'm winning. And then more lies come out. And then they're really thinking that what they're lying about is actually true. And then they do this and a little of this. And then they all get together in cult clans and then run other groups of women over. And everyone has their own little gimmick associated to this style of influence online. We all know that the women of attractive reality TV, which none of them look normal. They all look like plastic surgery nightmares. They are pretending to be attractive. But if you actually were to take like a close-up look, take off their makeup, take off their hair, and then take a look at their faces, they're like hideous to look at. And what's even worse is when you do that, you get like thrown back because they're such horrible people. And then men parade them around and hold their hand and say, you can do this, because they're all really rich, and then they wave their money in your face, and they consistently and constantly do fit checks. It's like that's all they do is fit checks and show off how much money they have and how much food is on their plate. And they erotically hug themselves and show off their ring, bragging to the camera, while they then say, wow, I'm so intelligent, clean eat, party, gala. So I'm about to go to dinner. I'm going to dinner again on a fancy restaurant with a rich dude, and I'm going to buy lots of stuff. And for some reason, the audience can't wake up to the reality that shit's gross. That you are nasty. You're nasty. They're nasty. You're all trying to be the same. You're all trying to get that cash, that bank account. However, your life is literally passing you by, yet you have no emotion about it. You're destroying lives. You're destroying other people's lives. And then The View's trying to fight with the attractive women and then pretends to be nice to them to their face. And then they're like, women's rights. What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Women's rights? You're not capable of leading. It's very clear. And only a man with no wee-wee would support a Kamala Harris. Her campaign is flawless. Her campaign is flawless, so now you're working a campaign off perfection, off your version of polarization. While you all proclaim to be controlled by some sort of Democrat machine, yet you are all the ones fueling and moving the oppression to society. For example, training people to believe that you will be fired if you don't do what I say. If you interrupt the culture and you're not nice to people, you will be fired, even though your staff and your team are completely abusive. So your staff are completely and utterly abusive, and someone's telling them and reprimanding them by holding them accountable. However, you always say hold yourself accountable. However, nobody holds themselves accountable. They just kumbaya at the table and then tell everyone how wonderful they are, and then you get those results. Then you run around and say, happy and joy. Look at me. I'm sitting in the audience at the US Open. Watch me react. Watch me react. Wow. And then I want to let everybody know who's booing up in the audience that I'm going to be very wealthy and you're poor and I just won. And that's the millennial and Gen Z advancement of evolution and maturity. So the coach that this particular person has no class and no educational abilities to educate this little twat. That you can't behave like that when you're not only when you're an audience, but when you are a sports star. Because we want to remember that the people in the audience are being filmed. So now even people who just do not want to be bothered with the influence market, which is all gimmicks of the worst people. These are the worst people we've ever seen in history. Anyone on TikTok, because you're not speaking any form of intelligence. You're all in some rotation, repetition. Be kind, happy joy, fiance, happy joy, be kind, happy joy, optimism, be the bigger person. No, shut the hell up. You're already rich. You too can go viral by organic content. No, you can't. Now that's the lie they're trying to train in your brain. Their brains are rotted out. Well, tell me why that you wanted to date me. And that's the hot topic of education. Kristen Cavallari. And all your dear media profiled women of the internet who offer absolutely nothing except for camel toe. Wow, we're so educated. Such a fair playing ground. It's all interest graft. Well, if you create the interest, then the interest graft isn't actually even real, is it? No, you're all just plain and simple. You're all just effing abusers. Where you then solicit each other to steamroll over everyone trying. I love you if you're trying. Wow, thanks for the validation. You don't need validation. I want to validate you in the comment section. And if you don't validate me, I will block you. If you say something that I deem as inappropriate, I will block and ban your content because I am attractive. Don't you know who you're talking to? Paris Hilton, to her people who are telling her that she's not performing live. You're not performing live. You're just standing at the GJ booth like Phoenix, standing there. Phoenix would do a better job DJing than you. Wow, what a great women group do we have. Do we have any women in the house? No, we don't. I don't even know I can't even define what one is. Go take a look at Ketanji Brown. Her skin is brown. Her book is Clues to Her Psychosis. The View are literally beating her down and she's smiling. Don't you know who you're messing with? I'm the Supreme Court Justice. Not sure why, because you're just an actress playing a role. Don't forget about Uvalde and how Joe Biden was president and how currently Joe Biden is president again. And Kamala Harris was just in Georgia. It makes you want to think for a moment, doesn't it? But most of you don't think.